Hello people, and welcome to part 3 of this build video. As you can see from the end of 2, it looks a little bit different from the start of 3, but I'll show you what I've done. As we explained at the end of the last video, is that we've put the air unit in and we've used those 2mm screws that we got off the camera to hold it in place. Okay. We've then fed the camera cable underneath the flight controller, underneath there. I've not screwed that back on yet, so I'll show you. We've printed off these, I've done them in like red so you can see from the purple, with the longer screws and a washer, 2mm washer, to hold the camera in place, 04 camera. Still got the protective covering on it. With the 04, the power unit is plugged into this flight controller, but then I've had to do the RX and TX over to UART 3. That's the buzzer, plus and minus, and the ground for the buzzer. I'll just put a little bit of hot glue on the antenna for the receiver. These are just zip tied. These 5.8 gig whips that we've replaced, the DJI, they just stick out there, and then everything that'll get screwed down with the nuts, and then the strap through there. I've ground off what we said before. We've ground away the front of the top plate, so that will sit on like that, and then you just use some of the little screws out the packet that we got from the frame, half a dozen of those, to screw that down with the strap on, and she's pretty much ready to go. Again, we've just bolted down 4 bolts holding the TPU front end that I've printed, and as you know, there's the receiver and the capacitor that's inside there as well as the camera. The only place to put the buzzer really, and it's out of the way and protected a bit, is at the back behind, and then you can access the button to switch it off, because that will just bleep when you unplug the main battery. That will start beeping on its own because it's got its own battery. So ideal if you crash it somewhere, it throws the battery off. And then basically, like, the GPS that we'll put on eventually will sit on there with a little unit that I've made, a little M10, so we'll have the GPS there, and then that's a 6-cell battery. That'll get plonked on, plug it in, nice and tidy. We'll weigh it at the end, so obviously got to put the props on. But yeah, that's basically all you've got to do. With the 04 air unit, I've put it on DJI Assistant 2 Consumer Drone Series. That's the app that you need, and then you download, you literally plug it in, you don't have to power it up. So what I do is plug it into the app via the USB-C, download it, then you can download the latest version, which it will do through the USB-C and not powered up. And then when you've done that, you go back out of it, plug the quad in with a battery, wait for this light to turn from green to red, plug the USB-C in, it will connect up to Assistant 2, and it'll ask you to activate on your account, and that's where you activate it, and then it's ready to go. Binding, then you then get your goggles. It's on select the 04 Pro menu on your goggles, whether it's like goggles 2, goggles 3, the N3 goggles. I think that's the only 3 that will work with the 04. So any of those 3 goggles, get the binding going on your goggles, power this up, hit the bind button, preferably with something non-metallic, like, I don't know, a cocktail stick or something, to hit the bind button, because I know you can see it there, right in there, and it will link up straight away. And then if you've got your UART set right, RX and TX, you should then therefore get voltage, and it will start recording when armed and all that sort of thing, so you know it's working. As you can see, it's quite compact in this frame, but whether you're experienced or a beginner at building, if you don't try and do something, then you never will. So that's it, we'll get them. Might as well put the strap on, and again, that's how they come brand new. The Send It straps I use, you can get 5 for £4, so they're less than £1 a go. And they're good straps. The only thing I find when you have a right good smack, sometimes that the buckle itself will be the first thing to go, not the actual strap. But either way, it's still not good. So we want to Send It. And we'll stick it through here. Like that. And that gets looped through there. Send it. Don't worry about that. And then some of these screws. We need 6 of these. And it's a case of stick the lid on. I mean, when you're doing a build and you go through the process of, once you've got something that can be feasibly powered up, so you know, like we started with the chassis, the motors, the ESC, the capacitor, and got that all wired up, and then we plugged it in without the flight controller, and then we put the flight controller on, and then we put the receiver on. And each time you put something on, you know, give it a test. How's this one being a git? You know, give the thing a test, and then if everything's all successful via, you know, beta flight or your transmitter or what have you, you just move on to the next phase, as it were, and keep going and going until it's finished. See, we've still got to put the GPS on this. But we're not going to go miles, we're flying it around fairly close by and giving it a test first flight. So that, I'm sorry about the hands on it everywhere. So that is that. I'm just going to put some J37s. They're HQ props, J37 polycarbonates. They're only 4.9, 1 week and 9. You can see how much distance we've got to go to a 6-inch prop if you want it, but we're just going to put the 5-inch props on for the time being. Just for its little fling about. So good thing about 6-inch as well, we can bung 5-inch props on, and 6-inch and 5.5 and 5.2s or whatever else is out there, without worrying about it rubbing against things, i.e. the frame, or you've got plenty of room. Look, will it affect it with the props being further apart? Probably not. and then we'll stick our little pink nuts back on. I just printed these off because I mean, yeah, in a crash sometimes, especially when you land on concrete or whatever, you'll see these nuts ping off, but they protect. So that's the finished quad. Let's go and fly it. Well, here we are at the little test park, and the council have kindly donated a tiny whoop, or even a 5-inch. Got my quad ready, goggles 3, and the good old boxer cush.
Welcome to HGLRS. Switch warning.
So what we're going to do first is have a little potter around, and then we'll do a few flips and rolls, and then maybe a power, if things go well, maybe a power loop and split S's and all that, so we'll see what happens. Plug it in. We've armed it. And off we go. A bit of flying over the tree bit. Everything's all good at the moment, all still 60 meg. So yeah, she's flying around okay. A little bit of stuff, we can do a bit of tuning. This is a 27 quid flight controller, or stack. So let's see if we'll kill the throttle, what it does. A bit of shake on the bottom. Move that. Dog. Hello.
Hi.
Can't see you very well. Battery's about dead now, so usually we're going to test battery in that. A lot of dog walking about. Can imagine this for a tiny whoop little sesh. Oh yes, that needs investigating.